What's up, y'all? It's Otaku Tavern back at you with another video. Tonight, I want to talk about this quote here and how it kind of corresponds with the dating scene, the friend scene, even really the family scene anymore. And as you can see here from the thumbnail, the image up here that's shown on your screen is, Ken, he says, never trust anyone too much. Remember, the devil was once an angel. And, I feel like that this is very, very good advice, honestly. um, Especially in today's world, where you can't trust anyone. We've talked about a lot of stuff like narcissism. Uh, when it comes to family members, friendships, or even dating, and also like as far as like friends go, a lot of people are fake, and it's like you can't really trust them because they up and just turn their back on you at the least little thing, or they just ghost you for no reason. They just disappear. Same thing with like the dating game. All this stuff like benching, roaching, ghosting, all this, right? It's like you can't really trust these people because it's kind of honestly expected. Like, to be honest, like it's kind of something that you can almost set your watch on by like anymore, and another thing too about this is like I wish it wasn't this way, but sadly it is, and it's like there are many people that I've, especially a couple of exes, like that well, really all of them but one, but like that I would say, that this quote applies to, and I think that Ken Kaneki is completely right about this. Like, he doesn't really sugarcoat it. He pretty much tells it how it is. Like, I mean, the devil was once an angel, and it's like, the devil can definitely come out of people. I've seen this many a times, like narcissism, right? Or gaslighting. Your everyday person that you go out and see, like even people, whether it's in the store, whether it's people who don't really have your best interest at heart, but are being dismissive towards your problems. And it's like, I was watching a video today from one of my guys I watch on YouTube, and he was talking about like, the thing with normies. Normies will complain about how, oh, they didn't get their latte right at Starbucks, or, it's just something that doesn't even matter, just BS, right? Like, and, um, he's like, the second, you start talking about your problems, they start being dismissive, talking about, oh, there's way worse problems, that's, all this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, if you care so much, go and do it. I don't. Like, I have my own problems. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate that these people are having these problems, but it's like, I hope they get better, but it's like I'm trying to focus on my issues at the moment, and I'm trying to get help with my issues. It's like you can't trust these people. It's like the devil comes out of them, right? And this is very true with whether it's acquaintances, coworkers, friends, family wise, dating wise, marriage wise, all of it. Like it's, you know, I've personally been through this. Like, this is a quote that it's very true. Like, because another thing too is like, when you try to do the right thing and everything, someone's always going to try to put you down. Someone's going to, especially if you're an outcasted, like Otaku, or just an outcast in general. Like, you're gonna get, squashed on. Like, they're going to pretty much just view you like shit at the bottom of their shoe, right? And like this is not how it should be. And sadly, it's this way with, like, in a lot of public churches. It's like, if you're not of the same social class, you will see the devil come out of these people, because, like, you obviously can't trust to tell them your issues, because if you do, it'll be around the whole church, or really even around the whole town. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything involved in a church. Like, you tell certain people, and it's like it'll be all over the whole town. Like, people will be talking about it at the grocery store or whatever, and it's like, the devil comes out of these people, obviously. And it's like, another thing too is where, like, you end up trying to speak on, what's bothering you, like your issues and such. And it's like, not only are they dismissive, but it's like they try to shame you for having those issues, especially if they're like mental health issues, right? And, if they're definitely mental health issues, man, like, that's going to be pretty brutal, because a lot of people are going to be dismissive of you, and they're going to say, oh, well, you're the monster, you're the crazy one. That's what they're going to be saying. And it's like, these people are heartless. They have no empathy, they have no sympathy. These people are disgusting, right? And it's no different within, like, family feels. Like, a lot of family aren't there for you and don't care. Like, you try to talk about, like, something to your family member, they'd be like, oh, well, when I was young, it was this, and this. And it's like, okay, I don't care, because that's not what I'm talking about at this given second, right? Or it's like, another thing too is, like, anymore, it's like, men, you got to be, like, careful. Like, I hope you get, like, an otaku woman, but, like, as far as, like, the otaku men, and really just men in general, they got to be really careful of what they share, with a woman in dating, or a friend, if they're truly a friend, more likely an acquaintance. But because these people will try to use these things you told them, secrets, whatever it is, they will use them against you. Their narcissism will kick in, and they will start using this stuff against you. And I see this happen way too many times in the dating field. I mean, I've personally witnessed this. I've personally been through this. Like, even people you considered acquaintances, I've witnessed this too. I've been through this as well. And it doesn't get any better. It seems to just get worse, honestly. Like, you sit there and hope, like, oh, maybe this will get better, and it's like, no, it don't. It just gets much worse. And it's like, you can't trust these people, because the devil comes out of them, right? And it's like, if you can find some people to trust, and if they are really trustworthy, then I would say that's a good thing. I would say count your blessings. But then again, I guess there's a part of me that says never trust even these people too much, because, like, it's because some of these people will end up betraying you, stabbing you in the back. I mean, I've heard of people being friends for 15 years, and then, like, one of them sleeps with an ex, or one of the friend, or, like, one of them, like, starts sleeping with this woman's husband, or the husband starts sleeping with, like, his wife's best friend, her best girlfriend. It's like, look, this stuff happens all the time. And it's like, these people are obviously not trustworthy. They just cannot be trusted. And, it's a very sad reality, but it's a true reality. Sadly, you can't really trust a lot of people. And I mean, I hope that you can find some people to trust in, or if you already have one or two or whatever, that's good. Um, but more than likely, if you're watching this video, you probably don't. So, because you're not really gonna watch this video if you didn't. But like, Ken is right about this. I think another thing that that this plays into is like politics. This also plays in that. Obviously this stuff it's all devilish. They don't care. It's just a bunch of division, bunch of fighting. It's like these people are fighting like 2-year-olds, and I don't know. It's weird, but like I mean, we don't care about that like stuff, but you know, yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I mean, do you think Ken is personally right, or do you think Ken is wrong? I mean, if you think he's wrong, I would really like to hear your why you think that, because I just really don't see a sane person disagreeing with this. Um, I mean, but I guess there are those types of people. So, anyway, yep, this will do it for this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace and God bless.